Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a nonpartisan public candidate interview service program designed to help voters get acquainted with the candidates vying for the 2025 special election races of Ward 6 for the Salem City Council and Salem Keizer School Board positions 1, 3, 5, and 7. These interviews come to you through the producers at Capital Community Media, with collaboration on questions from Association of University Women and the League of Women Voters, Marion and Polk counties. Interviewers are from League of Women Voters. All candidates for these races were invited, and all but one chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the 8 prepared questions ahead of time. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening addressing their background and qualifications for the office, and a 2-minute closing. I'm Cindy Schnell from League of Women Voters, and I would like to introduce Mel Fuller, who is running for School Board Zone 7. Candidate Fuller, welcome, and we look forward to your opening remarks.
Thank you. Shall I make them now?
Please.
Okay. Well, my name is Mel Fuller. I'm running for Salem Keizer School Board Zone 7. I'm a 15-year resident of Salem. My husband and I moved here when he found a job with the state, and I followed along, of course. We raised our children here. I have 2 boys. They're 10 and 15. One goes to school in 5th grade at Highland Elementary, and the other is in 7th grade at Parrish Middle School. I have lived and worked in Salem for 15 years. I spent 7 of those, almost half that time, 7 years working for Marion Polk Food Share, running their Meals on Wheels program. And that job really allowed me to be immersed in our community-based services and how they are all linked together and help make our community more resilient and strong. Not only did I work with seniors primarily, but that work with cross-work between departments. I also did work on a lot of other projects serving people in our need in the community. And that job for 7 years really helped me work one-on-one with families and community members and help them solve real problems that they had. I volunteer daily in our schools. I help 3 days a week in my son's 5th grade class, and I help weekly with the parent club at Parrish Middle School. We've created a nonprofit where we raise money through a concession stand for teachers to have access to funds for trips, special projects, and then we also give some of those proceeds to this whatever sports team we're running the concession stand at.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now it's time for questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. First one.
Uh-huh.
What do you think are the biggest challenges faced by teachers and staff of the Salem Keizer District?
The biggest challenges by teachers and staff? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what I hear a lot is that they're asked to do more than they have time for in their day. When I'm in the classrooms helping, I see teachers trying to teach while at the same time trying to manage some behaviors in the classroom, while at the same time trying to answer messages from parents on Parent Square, or working on I don't know how teachers do it these days, but some of them take on so many extra projects in addition to teaching. They're just constantly busy. And what I've also heard from them too is that with changing curriculums and testing modules, sometimes it feels like they're being held accountable to a moving target. So I think those are some of the biggest issues that our teachers and those staff face. They also have parents making these remarkable demands without the parents having the knowledge of how a classroom works and what's involved. One of the biggest problems I think that one of the bigger problems that I think that teachers and staff face are parents who have these concerns or demands but aren't spending the time to learn about how it's tricky. It's hard.
Yes.
Teachers and staff are really struggling.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your understanding of the role and duties of a school board member?
Oh, that's a great question. So the school board they hire and hold the superintendent accountable. They set policies and procedures, and they are also a very public-facing position in where students and parents and community members see them as frequently as those meetings happen. I think that the public sometimes misunderstands the role of school board members. I think that's tricky, but school board members don't necessarily ban books. They don't necessarily do all those things that parents ask them to do sometimes.
Okay. And your suggestions for involving the community in curriculum development. This is a several-part question.
Okay.
Describe the roles and levels of influence for parents, teachers, and the district in the development process.
Can you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
surely can.
Thank you.
Your suggestions for involving the community in curriculum development.
What are my suggestions for developing those? Okay. I'm sorry. I felt like you were starting to.
It's
Okay.
2 questions.
Sure. Okay. So when the school district adopts new curriculum, they always have open sessions for parents to come and review that curriculum. And I've been to those sessions. I'm sorry. Let me understand the question better.
All right. So I think you get the first part.
Okay.
Well, suggestions for involving the community in curriculum development.
Okay.
But the second part is describe roles and levels of influence for parents, teachers, and the district in the development process. Like, where does it all lie?
Where does it all lie? That's a really great question, and I think that question could really be answered better by an incumbent candidate. There's a lot of questions that I get asked that I just don't, without being on the board, I don't have the experience to really answer the question in depth and detail that I think that the question warrants.
But the first part of it, your suggestions for involving the community in curriculum development.
My suggestions are that when the school district is working on rolling out a new curriculum or making changes, that you become familiar with it, and they offer plenty of opportunities for that to happen. There's oftentimes viewing sessions of the curriculum set up at different schools, scattered throughout the different week at different times in different areas of the city. So there's plenty of opportunities. I know that I couldn't make one at the school closest to me, and I ended up driving clear across town to a school where I could make it to. So there are plenty of opportunities for parents to see those curriculums and review them. There's also staff from the district who help implement those and suggest them, who are there to answer questions. It's really an opportunity that I think a lot of parents miss. And one of my suggestions for helping people get involved in that would be suggesting that information get out to the public more so in a more robust manner than it tends to. I knew about it because I know where to look for that information. So helping access that information.
Sounds good. Okay. And there's a problem with trust in general. And how would you build community trust, facilitate communication, and manage conflict between parents, teachers, and the school board, especially during sensitive discussions on school board topics?
Okay. Will you read the question one more time, please?
I will.
Thank you.
How will you build community trust,
Okay.
facilitate communication, and manage conflict between parents, teachers, and the school board, especially during sensitive discussions on school board topics?
Sure. So, discussions of sensitive topics are very important, and they're happening more and more frequently in our day now, it feels like, than they used to. I think that a key part in managing those conflicts is finding the common ground. A lot of times those conflicts are with the same goal in mind, just different ways to get there. I think that people get frustrated when they don't feel heard, and that can sometimes elevate those conflicts. So being there to listen and helping people understand that ultimately the decision will be made, and we hear you. We're going to do what's best. I think that it's hard for parents the transparency and the trust issue. I think that it's really hard today for a lot of parents to become as involved in their children's schooling as they would like to. Many parents are working 2 jobs. Some parents are single parents. It's really, really tough. But knowing your student, knowing your child's teacher, knowing the teachers and the staff in their school, and having that relationship established makes those tough conversations a lot easier to have when they have to. For example, my son, my oldest son, wasn't always the best at sitting down and listening and making the best time of his work in the classroom. We had to have some tough conversations with this teacher about consequences and behaviors, and it was much easier for that teacher and I to have those conversations because I'd already been volunteering in her classroom all year long. We had a relationship, we knew each other, and it made that conversation much easier to have because we knew who we were talking to, what we were talking about, and the subject of it, my son, was, her pupil. We had the same level of commitment to that conversation.
And another difficult one,
Sure.
budgets. In thinking about the school district decisions regarding funding and budget matters over the past year, which ones did you support and which ones did you not support?
This is a tough question because last year the budget was a hot topic and our teachers were, I believe, if I'm correct, hours from striking. That's what it felt like anyway as a parent watching it. I supported the teachers. The teachers are the ones who do the work. The teachers are the ones that are in the classroom with our teachers every day, and they felt like their talents weren't being compensated and valued, and they were being asked to do more than was humanly possible for someone to do. So I'm glad that they got in there. They really pushed, and in the end, they were able to get a contract that satisfied them. There's still a lot of work to go, but I'm really proud of them and the work that they did in getting what demands they were able to met.
Okay. A safe environment impacts learning and the ability to teach. How can you ensure students feel safe at school with issues of bullying, gangs, and harassment?
Gosh, this is so hard because you can talk about it, and then when it's your kid, the conversation changes, right? The feeling is so much more intense when you're talking about generality versus individuality. I think that our school district does a lot already in terms of safety and security in the different systems that they have in place. I am in the pickup line it's not a pickup line, it's a pickup parking lot every day. And when I see things that are really concerning to me and that I think that the principal should know about, I'm able to tell her. And they're able to use cameras, and they have staff placed everywhere. I really, every situation is going to have bullies. We can't keep them out. We have to manage them. And what I really see is students and staff who want students to be successful and want them to feel safe. And having that one-on-one contact and the socioeconomic was the incorrect word. Social, emotional learning available. When I was in school as a kid in the early 80s, we had good relationships with our teachers, but it seemed like there wasn't as much of a push of greeting students when they walk in the door. I know at Grant Elementary, when my kids went there, the principal was on the porch every morning welcoming us into the school. It's an amazing feeling. So safety comes, the school district is doing, they're coming at safety and sense of belonging from a lot of different angles.
And how can we improve learning and reading achievement, especially in underserved areas?
Sure.
That's a tough one. My son was in kindergarten when COVID started, so he didn't really get to go to school until third grade with distance learning. There's a big, and third grade's an important year where children start to read to learn rather than learn to read. So it is really important, and I think that the best way to combat that is, the school district puts those initiatives and those priorities in place. Currently, they're in place now. They're looking at how do we help kids read, how do we help them develop their learning skills, hit third grade targets, hit ninth grade targets, not only for reading, but for graduation as well. So the school district is really doing a lot now already, and if I'm elected, I will support that work, and I will help it continue.
Okay. Last question has 3 parts. I don't know that we're going to get to all of them.
Okay.
But we're running.
Try, yeah.
We're going short. How do you respond to the Oregon Department of Education proposal to allow the agency to mandate state-provided coaching for districts in order to help them meet key performance goals, such as improving third grade reading levels and eighth grade math proficiency?
I see the urgency that our state government wants in seeing those scores improve. As a parent, I want to see them improve as well. There's no, I really appreciate them trying to find ways to hold that accountable and make sure it moves forward and the scores go in the direction that we want to. But I don't know if adding another level of oversight is going to be the best way to come across that. I don't know how the district and how teachers are going to manage that additional level. I think there's a lot to still be worked on with it. I appreciate the concern and the attention that it's getting. Like, again, as I said, as a parent, I want to see them improve as well. And I think that with everything, we're still it feels like COVID happened a million years ago, but it really didn't. And my son this year, just talking about Charlie, he's made huge improvements in his reading throughout the year. All those interventions and those systems are in place. We just have to let them work.
So that's it for the questions.
Okay.
And now you are invited to share your 2-minute closing comments.
2-minute closing comments. One of my favorite, I'm going to ask myself a question. One of my favorite questions that I've gotten so far is, what are people going to see if you're elected to the school board? And it's a good way to close, too. I think that if I'm elected, people are going to see someone that they recognize. I've been in the community for 15 years. I've been to all corners of it, working for the Meals on Wheels program, and I've been immersed in the community programs. I've started following the school board and school district issues since my kids were in preschool. So I've been following them for a long time. I wanted to run 4 years ago, but it didn't. It wasn't the right time. At the time, the Community for Coalition and the Community for Salem Keizer Schools Coalition wanted to endorse a full slate of BIPOC candidates, and that just wasn't me. It wasn't my turn. This year they've changed their requirements, and the person who currently holds the seat, Maria, she is not running again, and she's endorsed me for her seat. So in closing, I'm a really avid PTA mom with our parish middle school. I'm a dedicated weekly, daily volunteer in my youngest elementary school. I know our community, I know people in it, and I'm hoping to kind of wrap this all up into a package and bring it to the school board and use my experience in the community to help our schools.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Fuller, for our interview today and for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
And thanks to Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and producer skills to create this program. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk counties for the design and preparation of the program, and to AAUW for help with question development. And thanks to you, the public, for watching in order to become an informed voter. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot issues, please visit vote411.org. You have until April 29th to register to vote or make changes, and ballots go out May 1st and will be accepted if postmarked before or on May 20th. In odd-numbered years, our May elections are for selecting representatives for local districts, such as school boards, fire and water districts, transportation, and cemetery districts. There are 915 special districts in Oregon. These districts are part of our daily lives and are filled by unpaid volunteers. Elections matter. Special district elections matter. Please remember to vote, because your vote counts.